All right.
Hello.
Hello.
So, our fifth wine down
Oh my
Wednesday.
gosh, I think we're up to 5 now. I think
And we
we are.
actually are doing it in the evening together with a glass of wine. So, cheers,
Cheers.
friends.
I know, right?
Absolutely.
So we're just hanging out in the house.
We are.
And we were going to apologize in advance because there is a very high likelihood that you will see some dogs at some point
I hope so.
because they're circling us
Mhm.
currently. So we're going to apologize in advance.
It's okay. We'll just have some friends.
We definitely will.
Absolutely.
So I feel like we've had like a word, a phrase, a topic on our hearts for, I don't know, here she comes.
So cute.
This is Sadie.
Sadie, just see your bottom. She's really cute. Okay.
But a word that it has kept creeping up like week after week. And the weird part about it is I felt like I was seeing it everywhere. And then I mentioned it to you.
And then I heard it in a podcast, or I read it on a quote, or in a book, or whatever.
Yeah, it was wild.
It was really weird, actually.
So I don't know if you guys have experienced that too, where you just felt like there's a message from another level or something that's just talking to you. So today's topic is really around confidence. Mm-hmm. We've done some agent interviews. We've talked a lot personally around when you change and just confidence. How do you have it? We don't always have it at all times, right? I don't care who you are. People are lying if they say they're confident all the time. But what do you tap into? How do you become confident? Maybe when that's not your natural default and all that.
Yeah, and just whenever anyone's doing anything, obviously we have a lot of real estate conversations, but when anyone's doing anything, if you ask enough questions, if you take enough time, Pam and I have found out that it's always come back to confidence. And that stops someone from doing something, that helps them to start something, to try something. And really, what is that magic pill? That's the right word, that magic thing that gets somebody to be able to do something? Or how do we get more confidence? Because I feel like a lot of us want more confidence.
For sure. And some people seem to naturally have it. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of can be a little irritating. I say this sometimes, like I have more confidence than I probably should sometimes. But I think that is from past experience and some moments in life that's maybe taught me some things, or maybe it's just my natural personality. I don't know.
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think that's why this quote really spoke to you. So this quote we saw yesterday, I forget.
Yeah. Yes. So it's an agent, a friend of mine, and she posted it again. This was one of those like, holy crap, the universe is talking to me. Is confidence does not come from success. Confidence comes from surviving failure. You will learn nothing from easy times. A man is forged by struggle and adversity. I don't know why that just spoke to me, because I think it's right. Because I think a lot of times we see confident people and we're like, wow, maybe they've had it easy or they've hit it. There's something about them that's super confident. And we don't think sometimes about maybe what they had to go through, the struggle that was there in order to forge that confidence that they have themselves.
Mm-hmm. And then piggybacking on that, what I was seeing, what I read about, what I listened to in a podcast was, and this is what sucks about confidence, is that the speaker was talking about confidence feels really good. We love it when we have it. Mm-hmm. It feels great. Courage sucks. It feels gross, right? Mm-hmm. It's just hard to have courage. You're just scared. You're fearful. All of the things to be courageous. But the way that we get more confidence is by being courageous. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we have to do the things that don't feel good, mm-hmm, so they get us on the other side of feeling better. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I just thought that was really interesting. And then you and I started talking about, and I was really thinking about, well, what's the difference between a person who takes that courage, has courage, and takes that leap? Because the definition of courage is doing something even though you're scared to do it. It really is a definition of courage, right? So it's not that you're not fearful anymore of what could or could not happen, mm-hmm, but you still have enough something to take action. And I'm very fascinated by what makes somebody take the action and what makes somebody not take the action.
Right. Because we have recently taken a lot of action and we've taken some risks too, right? To come out of comfort zones of what we've known in real estate and to grow something on our own. So why are we crazy enough to do that type of thing? So we're both fascinated by it. and I have a theory, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think it's centered around some emotions of, is the fear or is the pain enough to cause you to take action, because the pain is just enough that to get over some of those initial fears? Or is the vision or the excitement so strong that it's enough to push past those fears in order to take that risk? I guess the foundation of that is really fear.
Well, it is. And then practicing thinking about what does it look like on the other side of fear?
Yes.
And the other side of courage. It doesn't come naturally to many people, me included, to have just always been like, ooh, but what does it look like on the other side? Ooh, let me visualize all of the things. And let's not think about, we can get so stuck in the feeling of, you make the decision, you take the action, and then you're like, oh shit, I made the decision, I took the action,
Yeah.
right? But then you don't allow yourself to go further than that. And it's that further than that creates that confidence. And even if we failed, because I mean, you and I haven't totally fallen on our faces yet, right? We've had a couple of questions like, well, that was probably a dumb idea, or whatever we've done, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't, but it's so helpful the next time we have a discussion about doing something, we're like, that confidence came from having the courage the first decision that we made, right? And then that kind of builds on each other. And so if you can't continue to build on that, then it's super hard to ever start that. I don't know, to ever start that what they call a domino effect, I guess.
But I do think once you do start it, though, I mean, the good news is it's usually not ever as terrible or as scary as we envision it to be.
It's almost never.
Never. And so I think sometimes it can be helpful to go, what's the worst thing that can happen if I did this, right? I'm not a freaking tree. If it's terrible, then I just move. I do something different, right? So that's one thing. And my husband has taught me over the years, because I can suffer from a little bit of lack from how I grew up, right? And so I can sometimes get in this little panic zone, and then it's not positive. Then I'm like, oh my gosh. And my husband's like, Pammy, you were never going to go back to where you were that 4-year-old girl that was hungry. You just, that's not going to be you. So I think when you start believing in some of those things, and then you get a little bit of confidence because you took that risk and it kind of paid off. Or you took that risk and maybe it didn't work out 100%, but you learned something about yourself.
And the worst didn't happen.
No.
Whatever we envision as happening, that worst did not happen.
And here's the crazy thing. Sometimes it works out better than you ever thought it would. And so why wouldn't you at least believe in yourself enough? Give yourself that, and give yourself the ability to fail maybe just a little bit, because you damn may surprise yourself. But what I don't ever want to do is to have regret. I think that could be some of the worst feeling when you get older, right? I wish I would have taken a chance on me,
Absolutely. And then in thinking about this, because we've been talking about it for about a week, knowing we really wanted to talk about this. And a lot of I guess, but maybe this will resonate with somebody else, is that I think a lot of our fear doesn't really come from if we think we can or can't do something. It's what other people might think of why we're doing something, why we want to change something, why we want to go in the direction that we're going. And so that fear is not really I don't think I can do this, or I'm going to fail. What's the worst thing that's going to happen is, what will other people think if I fail?
That's real. And people don't want to verbalize that. But if we really sit and think about that for a minute, that's where a lot of it
I mean, when I was driving here today, knowing we were going to talk about this, I was like, all right, Mackenzie, it's time to be real, right? And so, because I feel like I am one of those people who, as many women, or people, I shouldn't say women, have all those insecurities, right? Confidence. But I will eventually take the action, right? So I am one of those people who will take the action and then be like, oh shit, now what do I do? But I've also been very good about surrounding myself with the right people. And I think that's also incredibly important. So when the big outside world, we might be worried about what they say, think, or feel about choices and decisions that we're making. If that even tighter inner circle, though, we're going to catch you when you fall, or just be like, well, that was dumb, but let's try this again, or, good job, or good try, or whatever. So for me, it's been working through that I can make decisions a little bit faster than maybe I did in the past, because I'm recognizing that perhaps it's not that I'm worried about that I'm going to fail, but it's perhaps maybe what other people will be thinking with decisions and choices that I make, and trying to work through that a little bit. So
I think that's the beauty of confidence. I think eventually down the road, though, is you suddenly start to believe in your thoughts, and you care really less. And I think that's the beauty of getting a little bit older too.
Well, God, I can't wait to tell my mother, Mom, I love you, but when I have no filter, I can just say whatever I want to say and don't care what anybody thinks. I'm not there quite yet. But I look at my mom, I'm like, oh, okay, well, there you go. She does not give a shit.
But I mean, it truly is. I mean, but that comes from, I think, confidence, knowing oneself, and like being super secure in that, whatever that looks like. And the older that you get, the more you just have that thing. It's beautiful. I literally cannot wait till I'm like an 80-year-old lady. I'm going to be a problem, but
she's going to be a problem. Just kidding. We're both
in a good way.
In a very good way. So anyway, this was just something that's been kind of on our hearts a little bit, and just we wanted to share this whole idea of confidence is tough. That even the most successful people worry about it, think about it. But if you're thinking about something that you want to do, unfortunately, it seems like from all the people out there that to create and gain that confidence is to create and gain that courage, which kind of means that to take that action. And it could be something as little as getting up early in the morning to go work out because you don't want to work out because you don't know how to work on a machine.
She's talking to me. She's talking to me.
Maybe a little bit. Oh my gosh, that's so not true. I'm just trying to think of like a random little thing. Anyway, it's been a long day. To making a big life decision, I don't know. Confidence comes in every shape and form. So I don't know. We hope that resonated, I guess, right? And all that kind of stuff. And
so I thought what might be kind of fun to kind of wrap up too is maybe a few little. So there's tricks I think we sometimes do because we've got big decisions in our life to make, right? But I think there's little things that maybe we can do that can create a little false confidence at times to help us get through situations. What I'm thinking of is Denise Alala, love you, posted in her stories too around like doing like a walk-up song or a song you play in your car when you're ready to get like psyched up to go into like a tough situation. It's like, that's a way, right? Like it's a coping mechanism sometimes to kind of infuse a little bit of confidence. Like one little idea. And I was like, damn it, I do that.
I absolutely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I yell at myself in the mirror, right? As I'm getting ready, I'll look in the self and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You are awesome. Right? People,
but affirmations.
I was going to say people love affirmations. People don't love affirmations. People think they're silly. They think that they're whatever. But there is something about saying something out loud, looking in a mirror, right? Or even just pulling down the mirror, like, your makeup mirror, your light mirror in your car, or the rearview mirror, just looking at yourself and be like, you're a badass, and you're going to walk into this appointment and you're going to crush it and you're going to nail it. You've got this. I absolutely do that.
Yeah. Because be careful what you say to yourself. I caught myself this morning. I did something dumb and I was like, my God, you're so, and I was like, ooh, boy, that is negative self-talk. So
Stop that. But I do a good song, looking yourself in the mirror, telling yourself you're a badass.
One more.
Ooh, what else do you do?
Simple, but take a deep breath sometimes. My first big job was in pharmaceutical sales, and I was 24, calling on MDs and specialists, and I was so uber intimidated just to walk in there and have a conversation. I was like, the things you say to yourself, what do I have to say? Talk about playing some music in your car, y'all. I was rapping it out. But someone told me, just take a deep breath before you talk. And it's amazing how much you can catch yourself by just a little bit of breath work. And people never notice that you're like taking a pause. You actually look like you're being reflective and thinking about the appropriate thing to say. So it actually slows you down. And it's amazing how much that calms you. And I think gives you a little bit of confidence because you've thought through in a half a second what to say.
I love that.
helped me tremendously. All you doctors I called on, scared as shit,
Yeah.
but I figured it out.
And I'd love to know if you have a jam music that you listen to. I'm literally sitting here going, I have a song and I cannot remember what the song is, but I had a song. It's by Elle King and I cannot remember. I'm Not America's Sweetheart.
Yes, I remember.
Remember we
yes,
did years
yes,
ago. I
yes.
was like, what was my song?
Mhm.
My confidence now. My listening presentations are good, so I don't do it every time. Sometimes though, I have to be like, you got this still. You got this, girl. You can do it. But Elle King, I'm Not America's Sweetheart. There's a lot of curse words in it. It's just, it's
Yeah.
I'm awesome. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember yours? I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, Beyonce Formation.
Oh, I could totally see that being your song.
Olivia and I sang that one. I would take her to lacrosse tournaments and that was pump up. We were both just like, whoa. It was good. It's good stuff.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay. So take a deep breath.
Yep.
Listen to a song that reminds you that you're a badass and look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are, even if you don't 100% believe it, that's okay. But there's something about building up that stamina until you do believe.
Yeah, until you can make some of those big decisions. But take little steps. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the big move today, but start working on some of these things. It's sad to me that so many women, when it comes down to it, just lack some basic self-confidence. I think it's just really makes me sad. Oh, also knowledge. I think we were talking about earlier.
How did we forget that?
I know.
So, because
you build.
Just kidding.
We had dinner before this, but
tell them all of our secrets.
I know. But a lot of folks, especially that are a little bit more analytical, I think they base a lot of their confidence on having enough knowledge around the topic to where they feel like, I've got this. I'm the expert in this. And then I feel confident because I really know. And sometimes you're not going to know everything as a new agent, especially walking into a situation.
Well, we can read everything that we can read in a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then that experience comes from the actual
action.
Yeah. And we can, again, create a story that's going to happen. I'm going to talk to Pam about this situation. And I think I'm going to, because the book says this is how she should react, then it's going to be the exact opposite way that she's reacting that the book said. And so it goes back to that action, the experience. And so it doesn't mean that you can't. So I think too, give yourself a little bit of grace if you're going into something you don't feel confident about it. Because yes, it's good to have confidence, but to be overconfident in something can also be it. Can also be, it could turn out bad if you're overconfident and not just giving yourself that space to grow, maybe thinking, oh, maybe I did need to learn something from this experience.
Yeah. Maybe you got it, but you could be a little better.
Self-awareness is the next thing after self-confidence, right?
Next topic, next week. Stay tuned.
All right, we're going off the rails. All right.
Yeah, maybe wine during Wine Down Wednesdays. Maybe it's a terrible idea.
Maybe it should be at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday
Right,
on
like
opposite houses, like it has been. No, anyway, I think it was good stuff. Okay, so that was on our hearts. We wanted to share that with you, and we will see you guys next week for our next Wine Down Wednesday. Cheers, friend.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.